Hello and welcome to a special Jubilee live edition of the Upload VR Gamescast. Clearly, we are doing this week live because it's I don't even know what kind of Jubilee it is for the Queen, but it's.
You're asking the wrong. I mean, you're also talking to
No, I'm not.
predominantly American viewers,
Yeah.
who perhaps don't know what you're talking about. So it's the Queen's Jubilee, whatever that means. Jamie could speak. I mean, guess I'm part of the Commonwealth, but who knows? But more importantly, Sony PlayStation State of Play.
Hang on.
Oh,
Don't
sorry.
downplay it. First of all,
sorry. Okay. Yeah,
I feel like our American viewers probably know what's going on with the Queen more than I do. So, because I'm sure from looking from across the pond, as they say, it's incredibly interesting. Living across the pond, it's I couldn't care at all. But
as someone who is across a pond, occasionally I see some stuff of her. I know that I'm entitled to a portrait if I want one. They have to give me one if I request it.
You're more like a reservoir, not across a pond.
A reservoir, just a distant cousin that lives on an island.
Oh god, yeah, and like one of those ones that no one can like go out on a boat in or anything like that as well. Because it's just too much. It's too dangerous.
Yeah. She's never coming back here anyway.
Yeah, it's far too old for that. We are here live today with the lights on, thanks to our many members that keep the lights on. They are Stephen Reynolds, Captain Clutch, Jerome Richardson. Still don't know if that's Jerome Houston. I'll figure that out at some point. James Out Loud, Anthony Manwixford, Robert Canones ×2, Handy Panama, Daniel Barwin, Andrew King, Skivy007, a very sexy bicycle to you all, Matthew May, Rick Tet, 360 Pickable, Smash Reality, Adam Hartzell, and John Restra. Thank you so much for your support, week in, week out. It genuinely means the world to us, and we're very, very happy to have it. As Harry said, we're going to be talking about the PSVR 2 showcase, the Sony State of Play. We're going to have a special episode on that, mainly dedicated to that. But before we get into it...
Oh, here we go. What have you got for me?
Before we get into it, let me go to the Images tab and bring up this week's edition of Bad Metaverse Watch.
Oh, here we are.
What am I this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Meta Daisies. This is a metaverse band. On the screen up right now, I have, what is this, 4 people that they look like the Red Hot Chili Peppers crossed with the Horizon avatars.
Yeah, and then like chuck in like a bit of like Steel Panther.
Yeah,
like,
there's a
little bit of like that kind of like
Panther in there.
Like that kind of like ironic, we're no longer actually like, are we ironic? Yes, we are, but we'll pretend like we're not kind of vibe. Yeah.
So the Meta Daisies, I'm reading from a website. The Meta Daisies are the digital offspring of the Dead Daisies, a global phenomenon comprised of rock legends from Deep Purple, Whitesnake, and Dio. Their mission? To keep rock alive, I don't know, and to bring that epic music and energy to future generations. The Meta Daisies understand the true legacy of rock. I'm not sure they do. And they're on a quest to unleash its power to a new audience in the metaverse. Together with Daisy as their guardian, the Meta Daisies are igniting rock music for Gen Z. So there we go.
Where can I watch them?
It doesn't say. It just says like.
Of course it doesn't. There's no way it would have that much detail.
Just join a wish list or a newsletter or something somewhere.
Or like Oculus venues if I could get into it anymore, because I can't, because I'm in Australia and it's now part of Horizon. So who knows? I'll just,
I'm just so like this looks so bad. I think this is the worst thing yet. This is even worse than the Snoop Dogg NFTs.
The Snoop Dogg NFTs at least had like references to Snoop Dogg's discography. This is just like, what is this? I can't pin the graphics to it. It looks like something that you would see in like it's slightly better than like PS3 era, but like PS3 era like Rock Band game where it's like they're on the cover, or it's like they're on the background playing behind you and you just don't really look at them because they just need a band there. It's this. It looks
like characters from Drunken Bar Fight.
That is if you gave them all rock instruments.
Yeah. Well, this guy looks like the guy from The Who, but like just.
And also his face looks like a Silicon Valley executive, but his body is like, I'm a rock star. But like those glasses are not Rockstar glasses. Sorry, man.
I just don't think you could really ruin anything more with the metaverse than the spirit of rock
Than
and roll.
rock. Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
know, this act of rebellion
Yeah.
against the giants,
Anti-establishment.
whether it's parents or corporations. Anyway,
Oh dear.
we're probably. Oh wait, we can look at the chat in this episode, can't we? Oh my god,
We
people are talking
can.
to us. I'd forgotten about this
We're
and how this
live.
works.
Wow.
Hello, Robert Canones. Hello, Immerse Robot. Hello, Onikase. It's good to see you all. And Sexy Bicycle, you're all here. Wow, look, you're all turned up.
Beautiful.
Well,
Butter something said, "Are these NFT?" And look, I don't know because Jamie pulled this up, but
I
I'm
gave you all
guessing
the
they could be.
information I had.
I'm guessing they could be. I would not be surprised. This
It's
looks prime NFT material.
it's deep purple, it's White Snake, and it's Dio. Deep purple is the surprising one to me. There, aren't they all dead? It's been a
Well,
long.
not in the metaverse. Clearly,
Yeah, true.
no one's dead in
Yeah.
the metaverse, Jamie.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
live on, don't they?
Mm-hmm. They all
Okay.
do.
Let's
Anyway.
let's get I mean, not straight into it, but we're into it now.
Yeah.
An hour and a bit ago, Sony hosted its State of Play showcase, new updates on flat screen PS5 games, and of course, as promised, a sneak peek at games coming to PSVR 2. We're not going to go through in the order that they were announced because some of them are just incredibly boring. And
Who
first of all,
cares?
yeah, exactly. The first thing that was
Yeah.
announced was like the thing we need to talk about most. So we'll save
Yeah.
that for last, as you do in a podcast. You build anticipation. We need you all sitting here
Look at him
on the
go.
edge of your seats with this incredible conversation we're about to have. So starting off, No Man's Sky confirmed for PSVR 2.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, not that it's
Sounds
not.
good.
When I said boring, I don't mean like, oh, how boring. I mean like great.
Good to
but
have.
It's just
But yeah, could have guessed. In fact, I think we did guess last week.
oh god, yeah. I put this
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
predictions piece
Yeah.
earlier this week. It's like this is
And
this was always a
also has PS5 support already, right? So
Yeah.
it's so unsurprising that it's this easy tick of a box. Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Cut and paste, as people
Looks
I
good.
know would say. This is a cut and paste job. Just put it in a headset. There we go. And it's a great like day one thing.
Like, yeah.
I haven't played loads of No Man's Sky in VR, and I will do it on PS5. I'll tell you that right now.
Will you?
will
Okay,
do
I'll
that.
hold you that one.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll check it
Let's-
in there.
Second one, again, very predictable reveal. The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, coming to PSVR. The meta daisies are on screen, right?
There we
coming
go.
coming to
Yeah, they're off,
PSVR 2.
They're off.
Coming to PSVR 2 in 2022. Coming to PSVR in 2022. Coming to PSVR 2 in 2023.
2023.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Yep.
That
Yep.
seems so. Aside from a new look at the game that we're all very excited about, that seems like the biggest confirmation so far that PSVR 2 probably coming
Yeah,
in
totally.
2023,
And
right?
it was funny too because the trailer doesn't really make that clear. It just says at the end, like in the presentation, just says 2022, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're saying PSVR 2, 2022? But then the PlayStation blog at the end says original PSVR, which I realized we didn't have confirmation of either. I
Yeah.
thought maybe we might have, but we didn't. So original PSVR 2022 is what the trailer is referring to.
So
Even though
yeah,
it says PSVR 2, then it says
yeah.
2023 PSVR
just-
2. So yeah, it
it's
seems
kind
like
of-
that's the headset release. It's just so weird at this point.
It's one of those mixed messaging moments where it's like,
Yeah,
couldn't you have all talked about this?
it's
Like 5 minutes
me-
before the showcase went live
Yeah,
or something.
it seems like everyone behind the scenes, like Skydance and everyone must know that it's 2023, but like Sony have not announced that yet. So everyone's just kind of been like, it's a bit like whenever they announce, I got to get the meta daisies off. I'll clear those. It's a bit like when every time that they announce any PSVR game, a bit like the Green Hell thing, where they were like, "Oh, it's coming to PSVR."
Mm.
They didn't specify which. Everyone seems to know that it's coming next year, but it's not been confirmed yet. So, but
Yeah.
Interestingly,
I was reading the PlayStation blog post, which came out with some yet more tidbits on this. For the first time, I think they referred to this as a sequel, not
Oh,
an
did they?
expansion, not like a
I
follow
saw
up, anything
follow
like
up.
that.
I saw follow up once, but maybe
Oh,
they said sequel at some other
they
point.
used the word
They used the word
sequel,
sequel.
and I was like,
Oh,
okay, we're
big
going there.
trouble. Expectations blowing out, blowing out.
The bar's been raised.
Yeah.
So I'm beginning to believe, because also it said new maps, not just one new map. It said
Yep.
new maps, new
Mhm.
weapons, a sort of
Mhm.
shotgun.
Yep.
Um,
Which I think you see in this. Yep.
yep, some silencers, things like
Yep.
that.
So were there just no silences in the
So,
first game?
no silencers. I mean, why would you?
Oh,
Zombies. No one had
yeah, I
silencers in
guess
the
so.
zombie
You want,
apocalypse. So,
yeah, but I guess so. I feel like silencers were a big part of the Walking Dead show. They got through a
yeah.
lot of sticky situations with
Yeah,
those
that's true.
silencers.
With the plastic bottles, as if that would ever work. Like just tying a
Yes,
plastic
when
bottle
they
to the
like
end of a
ran
silencer.
out of like actual silencers. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're
yeah.
like that wouldn't work.
Hmm.
That's a plastic bottle, guys. Come on.
That's just making your aim really bad. Yeah, yeah.
But in terms of the actual trailer itself, it looks really good. It's
Hmm.
more Walking Dead. I think the new weapons look really, really cool. I think they're just, they have the template down and they're beginning to flesh out on different scenarios and different weapons and everything like that. That will
Yep.
make the game really, really good. I will
On
I will play this on Quest first because it's coming this year to Quest. But
yeah.
I would definitely be waiting to do like a full proper playthrough
Do you,
on
do
PSVR 2,
you
I think.
expect that on PSVR 2 this will be like a room scale thing where you're standing up and doing things, or do you think that
No.
everything like this on PSVR is like sitting down in the lounge doing stuff?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
most PSVR 2 things are going to be based around the idea that you're either standing or sitting in one spot. I think the VR game design has gone that way for a while now, right? Like no one
I guess so.
it's more
But you're
like
not limited anymore in that way of like when I have the camera, so you don't have to. It's just interesting. I hadn't thought about that until watching this. And I'm like, oh, this looks like the kind of thing I want to play standing up, walking in a small space. But
I think
interesting to see what they
I
kind
just
of
think
push you towards.
people have probably seen the data at this point that suggests that everyone prefers to stand in one spot and lean
Yeah,
rather than
yeah,
because
yeah. Then
like
like move.
in a perfect world, I would like love to be walking around, but you also kind of get that kind of weird messiness of like you're walking around your play space, but then you also have to
You also can
artificially
teleport. Yeah, yeah,
move the
yeah,
camera as well, right?
yeah.
And that's I think I learned very early on. I was like, this is cool, but I am
It's
just confused
more
as to
trouble
where
than
I
it's
am in
worth.
my room,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's not going to work this
Onikazi
way.
said, "What's the difference between follow up in quotation marks and sequel?" Very good question. I guess we
I think
might find that out.
I think I think follow up is a very broad term
Yes,
without as many connotations, right?
intentionally broad,
You can,
vague.
as a developer, your next project,
Is
regardless of what
always
it
a follow up.
is a follow up to your last thing.
Yeah, yeah.
A sequel very much
Has
implies that,
expectations.
yeah,
New
we're
big
we're,
thing.
we're going 2.0, baby.
Yeah,
We're going big.
yeah.
So that's still the big question around that. Are we going to get 10 hours of new content? Are we going to get 5 hours of new content? Are we going to get 20 hours of new content?
Yeah,
That is the question with The
yeah,
Walking Dead, Saints and
yeah.
Sinners. And I look
Onikazi
forward.
also said with The Wire, they're not going to encourage a huge amount of room scale. That's true as well. You don't want
I
to be
think
managing
meant the
that, I
TV
guess.
show. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll just
for a minute I did think that as well, but
sit and watch the TV show.
yeah, yeah. But that's a good point. The Wire, I guess, is a limiting factor in how far
Moving
you can go. What's
on
next?
to the next thing, and this is the last of the like super obvious things.
Expected. Yeah.
We saw more of Horizon, Call of the Mountain, not Call of the Wild or Breath of the Breath of the Mountain. Oh, whatever.
Yeah. There's so many.
We got gameplay from this, and
Yeah.
it was kind of
looks
like an
good.
expansion of it was an expansion of what we saw at CES this year. Developed by Firesprite, which is Sony's like one of the most recently acquired studios by Sony. Also developed with the help of Guerrilla, who are obviously the developers of the core Horizon series. And we confirmed that I think the protagonist is called like Reyes, I think his name is. And you're like first person using hand controllers. You get access to a bow and arrow as you would in this series, fighting off the dinosaur robots as you would in this series. There's some platforming elements. And it seems like you're definitely going to go to a lot of different places. We see a lot of the desert environments that were in Forbidden West, and we see some kind of more snowy environments as well.
Yep.
this is the flagship PSVR 2 game, right? This is the one.
My question for you after seeing this trailer is, what's your estimation for how many hours this is?
10.
Because I think you reckon 10.
I reckon
Yeah,
10.
well,
I don't
I
want
would
it to
hope
be.
so.
I don't want it to be anything more
I'm
than
worried it's less.
50. Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
worried it's
that's.
less than 10. I'm worried
I
it's
think.
like, it looks like a lot, but it's like very specific things that they're showing here. And it could be like, I don't know, 5, 6 hours of like 6 1 hour segments in very specific areas. But I
Yeah.
hope that's not the case.
I
But
feel
I
like
don't
you'll
know,
get an
difficult.
approximation of the open world experience is the thing. I feel like, that is
Yeah,
so intrinsic to what Horizon is that you are going to have to get some of the side missions and some of the climbing the tall neck dudes to get like a scan of the area and everything like that. I feel
yeah,
like even though it will be for a VR game, very big by VR standards, I feel like it will be just a taste
way
of
more.
what the
Yeah, totally.
actual Horizon experience is. And
It,
yeah, I think that's okay. But what what are you
yeah,
gonna say?
it looks slightly less. It looks slightly less on rails. I keep seeing. I can't remember if they've said themselves if this is an on rails experience, but I see people on Reddit, and whenever gets discussed, people being like, "Oh, it'll be an on rails experience mostly," because that's kind of the impression we got
Yeah,
from that first thing. Whereas this does not look as on rails as perhaps I think people have
I think
started to believe.
I think that first bit on the boat is literally,
Yeah,
that kind of
an
Skyrim
intro.
opening, right? Like it's
Yeah,
literally the first
totally.
couple of seconds of the game. Um,
And I think it's
I
probably sections
yeah
like that, but you will get to move around more than I
yeah.
think. I think people are getting this impression you'd just be on this boat for like an hour with a bow and arrow, like just shooting things from the boat kind of
That's why they
deal.
showed the
Yeah.
destruction of the boat in the trailer, so everyone's like,
Yeah.
you just quash
Just to be very clear.
the rumor that
Yeah.
it is a boat-based game. No, there is more
Yeah.
than just a boat. Yeah,
Horizon boat.
this I'm excited about this one. Like I'm not a big Horizon fan generally speaking,
Yeah.
but as like the big lavish this is going to be a showcase of everything the headset can do, not just in terms of,
Hmm.
production values, but also they're going to be looking at every chance to get those sense controllers reacting in unique and interesting ways. And I'm
Yeah.
really excited to see what they do on that front. I think
I'm
do,
more excited to play this than I am the actual. I've never played the actual Horizon games. I'm kind of a bit over open world Horizon,
yeah,
open world games, and so Horizon. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to put time into that. I'm more excited to actually play this. I think just to
yeah,
see
yeah,
what it
for
looks
sure.
like and see the kind of benchmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we're still Zeeb. Sorry. Just checking in on everyone. We're still live, right? Yeah. I just got a green camera here. I mean, everyone's talking to me. No one's saying we disappeared. Okay, we're good. um, yeah, and do you think this is still going to be a launch title?
Yeah. I mean, I think it should be. I would.
Yeah.
I think I. Yeah, I would hope so.
Thank you, Daniel.
Like,
We're
if
still
it's
here.
not, I think it'd be very disappointing. Um, I think it needs to have this. This is like the only thing so far. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there? I guess there's like Resident Evil 8, but like this is the original, like not a port, not a supported an existing game. This is the thing
Mm,
that's like they're marketing as the. This is you're only going
the
to get
thing.
this on PSVR 2, and it's made for PSVR 2. It's fresh, and I think that means it needs to be
Yeah.
on
This
release.
is
Like I'd be
this
very
is
disappointed.
when they do adverts of PSVR 2 on the sides of buses and stuff.
Yeah,
This is you're putting on a
you're gonna
headset
have like
and seeing a big metal bird or whatever,
yeah,
right? A
Alloy
big
with a
metal
big
bird.
headset and being like buy my Horizon bundle. Although I guess it's not Alloy in this, is it? No, it's someone else.
No, you're this
Yeah,
Reyes dude, but you
yeah,
are meant
that's
to
right.
meet
Yeah,
Aloy at some point. Which
right. Okay, is
cool.
it Aloy
Uh,
or is it
yeah.
Alloy? I didn't even know. I
I
only ever
played
read
all
it.
of the first Horizon game. Honestly, couldn't tell you. I'm
It's a
pretty
good
sure
sign. Good
it's
sign.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Aloy. I'm pretty sure it's Aloy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. So moving into the
All right.
last
The
two
meaty.
games that were detailed, and these are indeed the meaty ones. The
Yep.
first one, I'm gonna cast it. Resident Evil 8, as has
Hmm.
been rumored for so very long now. We'll be getting
Yep.
the full translation into PSVR 2
I'm excited.
whenever the headset launches. We got a trailer that obviously started with the Lady Tiramisu
How could you not? Lady
scene
Tiramisu,
because you
my
just
favorite.
have to. And
Yep.
I'm really glad they did a gameplay trailer for this, because even though you could literally just
Say
confirm
it.
that it's
Yeah.
like a thing, this clearly shows that this is not just using the DualSense controller. You definitely have two-hand control,
So
and
exciting.
Capcom is definitely stepping it up and doing the full thing rather than just
Yeah.
like that kind of simple stuff we saw Resident Evil 7.
That
And I can't
that
wait.
fan mod has some stiff competition now.
Yeah, compared to the real thing.
Yeah.
But and not just the real thing, but like you saw there in that clip, like realistic reloading of shotgun. There's dual wielding
Yep.
in one bit as well. There seems to be stuff going on with the melee stuff, which you can do in the mod as well. But obviously, there's only so much stuff you can do there.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
I'm
this
very
is
excited.
going to be this is going to be the full thing. I am so glad I have not played all of Resident Evil 8. I played like the first hour like 5 times
Oh,
just
really?
for
You haven't
work or
played it?
whatever. No, I've been
Ah,
saving it for
because
this.
yeah, I've only played like 2 or 3 hours. I kind of got up to the castle bit, so not very far at all. But
Yeah.
I do actually want to play it back on PS5 flat screen. But I'm so excited to play. One of the things that I really love watching it on PS5 was like it looked visually, I think, so stunning. I loved the
Mm.
not just the like graphic level of it, but like the design, the art design, and the way everything kind of looked. I felt was really beautiful. So I'm very excited to be able to look at it all in VR.
Yeah. And that's a great point as well, is that's going to be one of the most interesting graphics comparisons we've done at Upload, will be
Mm,
looking at how it performs just normal flat screen PS5 and how it
yeah,
performs with the headset,
and
right? Like,
then looking at you could also look at like PC, the PC mod. There'd be so many interesting comparisons to make
oh
there.
my god, yeah.
There's a lot of different kind of benchmarks for it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And yeah,
mm.
I mean, this is in my mind. It was like it was either this or Gran Turismo 7 was going to be announced, or both.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
forgot about that. Yeah, of
but I
course.
think, yeah,
That'll be next. Yeah,
exactly. This was this.
yeah.
It was a good time to announce this one, because you might as well get it out of the way when you are also announcing the Resident Evil 4
Here we
remake
go.
with PSVR 2 content,
Whatever that means.
not full game
But
supports PSVR, PSVR 2
ah,
content.
but they're not excluding the possibility of it. But I don't know why they
There's
wouldn't
no
just
way.
say that
There's no.
it's not. You think there's
I'm
no
just
way?
going out of it right now. It is not the entire campaign.
Why do you say
In
that? You say
because
that because of
Meta
like Meta
clearly somehow
exclusivity
has some
stuff.
sort of like there is some legal contract somewhere that is like it has to be, the full Resident Evil 4 campaign is exclusive either forever or however long to Quest.
Really?
There's
You
otherwise
reckon?
they would have just said
But
with PSVR
what
2
if you
support.
go what if you go, well, legally this is not the same campaign, it's remade, which
I just
I mean,
I just
look,
think
I don't know.
there's
It's I think you're right, but um I
if
have
there's a
tried to
loophole.
cast a trailer, but it's not coming up on our screen, so I
Yeah.
don't know if the viewers can see it. But yeah.
Oh, it's the age rating thing, isn't it? Again, damn age rating. We'll just get an
Ah,
image.
yes. Yeah.
Um, if there's a loophole to be had with it, wouldn't it have
Then that would be
been
hilarious.
wouldn't it have been loopholed by now, and they'd have said, yeah, the full thing.
Maybe they've still got their lawyers on the case.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Their lawyers
I
are
mean,
like last minute, like, hang on, we
it's
gotta
a
sort through the contracts some more. Yeah, I
it's
don't
a
know.
frustrating thing, because it's like if you've already got it in Resident Evil 8 and you're using the RE engine, which they've been using since Resi
Yeah.
7 and did the remakes with it and everything like that, then clearly you've already kind of got it ready to go, apart from the
Mm-hmm.
fact that obviously 7 and 8 are first person games. This is a third person game. Um that it's definitely like there has to be some sort of legal ramification that
So,
thingy
what do
came
you think
out.
it is then? Like, what if
I
it's not
think
the
there's a clause in whatever contract.
no,
I'm
as in
entirely
if you if you think it's
I
not the
see.
campaign, what do you think the actual content is?
Like
Because like what?
a
What
boss
could it
rush
be?
mode,
Right,
like
mercenaries.
the iconic scenes, like go into the village thing. It better not. I swear to God, if it's just a friggin' like aiming gallery, shooting gallery, or something like that, it's gonna be like, oh, dude, you shouldn't have led with that. It's and to that point, I would have just not mentioned it right now, because the
Mm.
first thing you want to hear about PSVR 2 is not with PSVR 2 supported content. Like, no, that's not what
Yeah,
we're about anymore.
yeah.
that was a plague of the PSVR era. Let's just forget the whole with. I mean, things that PSVR supported content back in those days meant you could play Tekken 7 with like just a one-on-one AI training mode in one map in the game, and it was like the
What they
worst
mean is
thing
that you'll
ever.
be able to play the entire game, but it's on a flat screen that you watch in VR and play in third
Yeah,
person. That's what
yeah,
they mean by content. Immersed Robot said the PSVR2 content could imply you have to pay extra for it. That's an
no, that's
interesting
true.
point.
That's very, very true.
Um,
That's very true. Maybe well, that's
hadn't considered that.
actually, you could go and make an exclusive like 2 or 3 hour campaign, much like
Yeah, that's
the
like
Ace Combat thing that
yeah.
was reusing environments and stuff like that. I'd be down for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I just find this a very weird thing, regardless of what it is. It's a bit like, hang on, and just explaining this to anyone who's like not caught up on the Resident Evil 4 or just Resident Evil in general, you're like, yes, well, there's actually several versions of Resident Evil 4. And you see Meta have taken the original one and remade it in first person for the Quest. And there's a remake, and that's on like PSVR or PS5. But then it's like, like, as someone who is now caught up, yes, but like as someone who wasn't following Resident Evil a few years ago, I would just be
if
like, what the hell is
if
this?
the,
It makes
if
zero
there had
sense.
if there had never been a remaster of Resident Evil 4, if it had only ever come to GameCube and then never anywhere else, it still wouldn't need a remake right now. Like it's
Yeah.
still a pretty modern game at the end of the day. It wouldn't like
Mm-hmm.
you could get it on emulators and everything like that. But it came to PS2, it came to Wii, it came to PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, PC, mobile, uh,
Now
probably some
several VR
platforms,
headsets.
Switch, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. So
Your
it speaks to the
microwave.
legacy of this game and milking this game that
Yeah.
even the VR stuff is now across multiple weird
With different versions.
variations.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. So bizarre.
It'd be really interesting to like be a fly on the wall at like Meta right now and be like, oh man, like how they're reacting to the fact that they did such incredible work retooling the entire original game to work right now, and then Sony just sweeps in and is like, yeah, look at this flashy new sequel, remake
Yeah.
even that
But
looks like
also
this.
vague on whether the remake will actually. I just. Well, like I don't see any way that if it's not the full game, it doesn't disappoint. In that, like, if you say I'm going to be able to do something in PSVR2 with this remake, I want to be able to play the game. As weird as that sounds, given we've
Yeah,
already got a full version of the game, but I'm also like totally here for the chaotic. Both of them have a full campaign that's like different. I think that would be such a funny, strange situation. I really hope there's like Meta haven't signed some legal clause, had just never considered that this would be remade
yeah,
stupidly,
exactly.
and there's like a full version on both. There's a remade version on PSVR2 and the original on Quest. That
Yeah.
would be such a bizarre comparison of like
Mm.
which headset do you want to buy, because it depends on which version of Resident Evil 4 you would like to play.
Yeah.
So weird.
And I also,
That would be
yeah,
so
and to
bizarre.
that point again, like, and kicking off the showcase this way, I would have just not.
Yeah,
I
not
would have
done
just closer to the date been like, oh, by the way, and if whatever the
or
VR
just not
content
mention the
is, that's
PSVR2.
there.
Yeah, just go Resident Evil 4, and then
Yeah.
when it comes out, you can deal with.
And speaking of
Whatever
Resident
this
Evil,
is.
here's Resident Evil 8 because that's going to be the full
Exactly.
game, and
What a
that's
segue.
exactly what people are looking for,
Yeah.
not whatever is happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And so Resident Evil 4 is coming in March 24th, 2023. A PlayStation blog post from The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners said that the game is coming to PSVR 1 in 2022 and PSVR 2 in 2023. At this point,
Yeah,
it
so
kind of seems
it's pretty
all but
confirmed, huh?
confirmed that this
Yeah.
is not coming this year.
And
right?
when you combine that with like the Kuo report of like displays are delayed, so they're likely looking at
Yeah.
2023. And then he said
And-
production was starting second half and may release early 2023. It was a bit vague, but
Yeah.
like when you put all these things together, I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, and our friends at PSVR Uproll had a report early on in the year as well, saying pretty much the same thing as well. And
When do you think
It's a
then,
shame
if this is March 24th and the Walking Dead is like will be out on every other platform, so it essentially should be able to come out on PSVR 2 at
Mm.
launch. When do you think PSVR 2 is actually launching? Because I it is February, March, like first quarter seems like an odd time to
I
launch
think it's
a headset.
I think it's incredibly odd, but I guess I can say from things I've been hearing by having conversations with people, it genuinely does sound like February
That's
to
the
March
case.
is what
I
people are
guess
thinking of.
I guess they might be looking at it too, given delays and everything, or just how hard it is to get parts for everything at the moment. They might be going, well, we'll basically soft launch it like quarter one, build up to a bigger push later in the
Yep,
year around holiday. Instead of delaying it entirely a year to holiday
yep,
2023, they're basically like, a bit like I think that was kind of the problem, right, with PS5 is that they couldn't get enough of them out. So it came out holiday, but it was like no one could get it. Everyone, even people still to this day, I talk to them and they're like, I can't get a PS5, which is, I think, I know it's difficult, but it's not like impossible if you
no,
follow,
it's not. Yeah,
where things are in stock. Like you follow when they go online and basically just buy one as places get them back in stock. It's not impossible, but there's become this like, you know, notion that like they're impossible to find because you can't just walk into a shop and get one. And I think maybe they're trying to avoid if you release it around a rush period, like a holiday, whether it's this
yeah,
holiday or next, and you can't keep up with the demand, then you don't want that kind of association being made like you've got with PS5, where it's like, I can't even get one if I want one. So I guess
yeah.
maybe it works for that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
a soft launch is a good way of looking at it. I mean, you know, I still argue that we're kind of in the soft launch phase of PS5, right? Like
Yeah.
we had this first year where they had some PS5 exclusives, but if you actually look at this year, nothing actually
Yeah.
exclusive to PS5 has launched so far. I'm
hmm
pretty sure. Like everything's also been on
Well, I think
PS4,
Ragnarok is meant to come out this year, but
but it's also on PS4.
uh, oh,
So
is it still? They didn't. For some reason, my memory thought they went back and went, no, actually, it's not. But you're right, it is
yeah,
PS4, isn't it?
it's
Yeah,
so far it's
yeah,
Demon Souls, Returnal, and Ratchet that are the only true PS5 exclusives. I'm pretty sure. Maybe there's a couple of other
yeah,
third party
yeah.
things I'm not remembering.
hmm
But so it's so
Yeah.
clear to me that this has been like Sony and Microsoft both being like, oh, crap, we got to roll with it. Just launch the thing and get it
Mm.
out there.
It'd be
And
interesting that PSVR 2 will kind of become one of those like exclusives in that it's one of the at launch is probably still one of the only things that you can only get on
mhm,
PS5, like those
mhm,
games and that system. It's like it's another reason to get a PS5 almost
yep.
because there's not much else. Yeah, interesting.
So
Mm.
looking at this lineup, that was 5 games: No Man's Sky, Walking Dead, Horizon, Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil 4. Kind of. Do you think Sony did? Taking into consideration that we think it's going to launch in Q1 2023, and we're probably going to get another bigger showcase before then, with all the details and stuff like that. Do you think Sony did a good job enticing people about PSVR 2 today in the here and now?
I think that's difficult because I would lean towards almost like no in a general sense of like I'm not sure anyone that is not already excited for PSVR 2 has become excited for it by seeing this. Like your average
That's
PlayStation
interesting.
person, like
That's
your
interesting.
average kind of, I've got a PS5 and I watch the state of plays, I might get PSVR 2. I'm not sure if they saw anything here that they're like, yeah, I got to get a PSVR 2. I still think that kind of hinges on more things like Horizon that are like fully exclusives and
Yep.
big name IPs. Um, but I think it did a
Mhm.
good job at confirming things that we kind of knew or could suspect. And for people that are already kind of following the news, they'll be like, "Cool, there's some stuff that I know will be around." But I think they still need more truly exclusive PSVR 2 things to actually like sell a much more
Yep.
general audience on it, I think.
So I think that's very, very true. I think the only thing here that was like, okay, the people that I'm friends with that don't usually talk about VR might turn their heads is Resident Evil 8, because
Yeah,
my friends already all own Resident Evil 8, and the idea that they could pick up a
do it
headset
again.
and go
hmm
back and see the whole thing with it is very, very good. Th- They just need to keep hitting on that. And Horizon is a big one for sure. Um, I think the two things that are missing right now to make it like a dead set easy sell at launch are Gran Turismo 7 and Alex. You get those two in.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah, I
those
think
two
Alex
in.
is a big one too.
Yeah, any PS5 owner will want this.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of PS5 owners will want this thing
Mm.
next year if you confirm those 2 extra games. And then you've got everything that's going to happen, with the indie and native VR community and whatever other
Yep.
partnerships you've got going on. But those are the 2 big ones for sure.
Mm. Mm. And
Um,
Alex too, it's interesting because that would make Alex, I keep forgetting this, but it would make probably the cheapest way to play Alex, like if you were starting from
oh,
scratch.
easily, yeah. Yeah, or
Like
most
get a
accessible
PS5
for
and
sure.
yeah, exactly, and then buy the PSVR headset. I mean, I guess we don't know how much PSVR 2 will be, but it's still probably cheaper than getting a gaming PC if you don't already have
Yeah,
one
and
and a
just
Quest or
an
something.
easier route. You don't have to,
Yeah, totally. You don't have to build a
research
PC or get
graphics
a PC.
cards. You don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
like set up operating systems.
Set
You
up
literally
Link
just
and yeah, even though it's much easier than it was, it's still like a barrier. Yeah, it's true.
Do you think it was a better VR showcase than the Meta Quest gaming showcase, which obviously had like first gameplay of The Walking Dead, Bone Lab reveal,
I don't know.
a couple of other things? I
feel like
think it
there.
was.
You think it was? For the average VR user who maybe is already looking at all of this stuff, I don't know. Maybe neither of them. See, the thing is, I've already forgotten most of what was in the meta one. So
Yeah,
I guess by that token, yeah, it probably is, even if it's a smaller offering. The meta one, I feel like always are filled up with like little extra things. Like I remember the Ghostbusters, and I remember the big kind of, but I'm like, I don't know what the rest of it was. It's
yeah,
out of my mind a week after it
yeah.
airs, So,
It's
um,
it's what we were
yeah,
talking about that the thing the Meta showcase was missing a couple of months ago was just the idea that you could be like, oh yeah, and here's 5 seconds of gameplay from Grand Theft Auto, or
mm,
here's what any of our studios are
they needed
working
a
on
few more of those
next.
things. Yeah,
Much in the
yeah,
same way, we only got 55 seconds of No Man's Sky, and we only got a mention of Resident Evil 4's VR
yeah,
support.
yeah.
That's what Meta really needs to hone in on. Like, they definitely have those things waiting
In
in
the
the
works.
wings,
Yeah,
and they should have brought them out. And now, and now they've got like, the conversation for the next couple of months is probably going to be like, well, yeah, sure, you can play Resident Evil 4 on Quest, but you're going to be able to play this graphically richer
content.
version. And obviously, the way that you're going to do
Yeah,
target practice on PSVR 2. um, but I don't know. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Basically, we'd get
yeah.
a
I think they
couple of
set
things that were just,
expectations well,
yeah,
right?
a sneak
Yeah,
peek is what they said.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't think we'd get. I did think, to be fair, I did think someone was going to say when PSVR 2 launches in 2023. I mean, they seem to have
Yeah, just like
basically said
sneak
that
it
without
in.
saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so there's still clearly some part of Sony that is maybe hoping for a 2022 launch. Otherwise, why wouldn't you have just said it
Oh,
then?
I reckon it's probably like they want to do a bigger showcase that is purely PSVR 2, and that's like the announced showcase where they're like,
Yeah.
it's launching next year. Um, Here's Gran Turismo. Here's maybe
Yep.
one other thing we haven't shown yet. And it's more like there's like a, 20-minute section that goes over PSVR 2 as a
Yeah.
headset, a big kind of deep dive on Gran Turismo, and another reveal of something. And they're like,
Because
and it's a very focused kind of like big extended looks at stuff.
the PlayStation showcase last year, the big one, happened in September, and that seems, if you are launching in February or March, that seems like the perfect time to say, look, it's gonna miss holiday, but the
Yeah,
second this holiday is done, you're
take the
gonna get
wind out
hyped
of
for
the
this
sails
thing.
too.
You're gonna throw $400 or $500 at us, or whatever it is gonna
Yeah,
cost,
yeah.
and you're gonna have Resident Evil 8 on day one. You're gonna have No Man's Sky. I think
And I guess too, they can kind of frame it as like, heading up to holiday if you haven't got a PS5 and you want to get PSVR 2,
yeah,
well, you can get the PSVR
yeah,
2, PS5 over holiday in preparation for PSVR 2 in March or whatever.
yeah. Buy No Man's
So,
Sky now. Buy Resident
yeah.
Evil 8 now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's such yeah. I think I'm really excited for PSVR 2. I think it's going to be a way easier sell than the original PSVR. I think even speaking specifically to the gaming audience, it's going to be an easier sell than the Quest 2 in some
Yeah.
senses for sure.
Yeah.
And this was
I
a positive step on that path
yes.
today.
I think too, like the way I see it too is having talked to PlayStation players or just general gamers who aren't maybe as into VR, as they could be. I think it's also like if Sony are if Sony commit, which obviously they have, but when they like fully commit to like this is a PSVR 2, it's a sequel headset, it's coming out, it's like the next generation. I think that also signals to people more so than like a Quest or a Quest 2 that like they are committed to this and it's not like a one-off
Yeah.
peripheral that was with one generation. That you kind of have the other like I don't know what was it PlayStation like iToy or like they've done a
Mm,
few other what I mean. I think it distinguishes it as well as
mm,
like oh no, this is a real thing that will probably be around potentially every generation or will get refreshed.
yeah.
I think with the first one there was a notion when I talked to people the original PSVR they were like yeah it's cool but it just sometimes it seemed like they regarded it as one of those like peripherals or just things that got in kind of was chucked out there and then
Yeah.
maybe just had its time. um so yeah, I think once they really start going hard on this and like the marketing and people be like, oh no, this is actually like it's a bit like a console generation refresh.
Yeah.
I think that
For
really
sure.
legitimizes it. Yeah.
It's I put it on Twitter the other day. Like I feel like Quest 2 was the first great VR headset, and we're really seeing it become like a great thing for fitness, productivity, and
Yeah.
gaming, everything like that. PSVR 2, I'm really starting to believe will be the first great VR games console, which is like,
Mm.
all right,
Mm.
Quest, you take your sales, you take your fitness app, you take your productivity stuff,
Yeah.
you do you. You're gonna do great. We're gonna do Resident Evil 8. We're gonna do all of this, and
Yeah.
it's gonna
I
have
think
its
it
own
also it
market.
has the big game IPs, like
Yep.
if we think that it launches with like Gran Turismo, Resident Evil, Horizon, I can totally see them doing some kind of God of War thing down the line.
Oh God, yeah.
Um
God, yeah.
or a Spider-Man thing, which we've said before,
Yeah.
like shorter experiences, especially with Insomniac. That's like automatically a big lineup you can't kind of refuse. Whereas again, we've had the same problem with Quest, where we're like, yes, there's GTA, yes, there's Assassin's Creed, um, stuff coming. We know is
Yeah.
coming, but it's a bit like
When and where and how.
it's not part of this like marketing thing almost. It feels like there should be
Yeah.
an image of a Quest with all of these characters next to
Hmm.
them, being like, "Get this on Quest," and it's like, "Where is that? Give me the Ghostbusters ghost and the GTA." And I don't know. It just feels like at this point there should be like because I feel like that's where we're headed with PSVR 2, where you'll see buses and it'll have the headset with
Yep.
Horizon, Resident Evil, Gran Turismo car, and you're like,
Yeah. Like
"Oh, big franchises," and it's on the box.
yeah, adverts at before movies and stuff like that. That is
Yeah,
totally what we're
totally.
gonna get.
Like all that kind of stuff. Whereas I feel like we're not that's where Quest is, I think, increasingly falling behind, as we've kind of talked
Yeah.
about before. But I think it's becoming more obvious with this stuff
Yeah.
ramping up. They need a clearer strategy.
Speaking
Go
of
on.
VR showcases, you're not done, all right? You saw the Meta Gaming showcase. You thought you were done. You're not. There was a state of play. You thought after the state of play you were done. You're not. You have
Mm,
to stick around. You have to be here June 9th for the Upload VR showcase, sponsored by Fast Travel Games, Alchemy Labs, Vortemex, Vertigo Games, Incuvo, Kiwi Designs, with support from Pixel Litty. I am so excited this thing's finally happening. Yeah, 8 a.m. PT. We're gonna be on we're gonna be on IGN's Summer of Gaming. We're gonna be on our YouTube channel, and we're gonna be back with new game reveals and everything like
very
that, which
exciting.
I'm very very excited for.
Very exciting.
Uh,
Look at that.
yeah, we've been working on this one a long time. Big lineup, many games, maybe too many games. Who knows?
Oh, set expectations, Jamie. Be careful.
Yeah.
No,
Cool.
very exciting.
We're gonna leave it there because it appears that chat is blowing up with inappropriate things. So we'll
Oh, yeah, I've just banned that. So yes,
take that, Naked HD fun. Am I allowed to say that? I've said it. Whatever. This has been a good show.
it's a good little wrap up show. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you next week, guys. After the showcase. Oh, that's just dawned on me. That's less than a week away. Wow.
Yep, it's close. It's close.
It's going to be fun. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let us know what you think about PSVR 2 in the comments below. Obviously, head to uploadvr.com for more discussion on that. Ian and Heaney, as always, will be back on Tuesday with the VR download, talking about tech. AWE is going on right now. We have the Between Realities guys covering as Upload VR correspondents. Also, make sure to check out Backseat VR Developer, a new show we launched with the Between Realities guys just earlier this week, playing through Everslot with the developer. Really good video, lots of fun to be had there.
There's some shout outs in the chat there saying before when we started saying shout out to the new series Backseat Developer. So glad to see people are watching it and enjoying it. So that's good.
Cool.
Yep. Yep.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye 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 bye.
Bye.